Thank you very much, Spider, and good morning to our viewing audience, those here in St. Lucia and those tuning from abroad. This morning, I'm indeed elated to speak on the recent policy decision by the United West Party Policy Committee to provide free tuition for all students attending the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. But before doing so, permit me a few minutes to categorically debunk the false narratives that have been peddled by the opposition, which claims that the United West Party reduced the subvention to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College during its last administration. St. Lucia, nothing could be further from the truth. Here are the facts. In 2019, the UWP increased the recurrent grant and contribution to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College by 9.6% from 15.7 million to 17.2 million, an increase equivalent to 1.5 million. In 2020, a further increase of $331,664 was granted, bringing the total allocation to $17.5 million. Overall, between 2019 and 2021, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College received a total of $1.83 million in additional funding under a UWP administration. More recently, the subvention was raised by 4.4% in fiscal year 2023-2024 to $18.3 million, and by another 6% in fiscal year 2025-2026 to $19.3 million, a cumulative increase of $1.78 million between 2023 and 2026 under a Labour administration. The truth of the matter is that both governments have recognized the need to increase the allocation to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. The question, however, is this enough? As a country, we must engage in a frank and honest discussion about the budgetary allocations for the premier tertiary learning institution in St. Lucia. A tertiary institution, may I remind you, was established by the United West Party in 1985. While successive administrations have steadily increased subventions to Sir Arthur Lewis, but the real question is whether an incremental adjustment is enough. We in the United West Party say no. In our view, free tuition costed at approximately $6 million annually is a bold and sensible point of departure, ensuring equitable access to higher education and investing directly in our nation's human capital and our nation's youth. This injection of $6 million will immediately increase the subvention to Sir Arthur Lewis Community College from $19.3 million to $25.3 million, equivalent to 31.1% increase. This allocation will contribute substantially to closing the persistent funding gap for operations of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. This translates to an increase in the budgetary allocation per student at Sir Arthur Lewis from $9,771 to an estimated $12,770. Yes, the UWP government will invest $12,770 annually to every student that is pursuing higher education at Sir Arthur Lewis. And over the 2-year period, a UW government will be investing $25,555 for every student pursuing higher education at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. This policy will directly benefit the over 400 students attending the Division of Arts and General Studies, the estimated 1,000 students pursuing studies at the Division of Technical Education and Management Studies, the over 160 aspiring teachers, students pursuing their first 2 years of bachelor's degree with the University of West Indies distance program in collaboration with Sir Arthur Lewis, and students pursuing agricultural studies. The policy will directly benefit over 1,900 students, girls, boys, from poor and vulnerable households. These are the future of our country. For each student, the government is committed to a total of $6,000 in tuition subsidy over the 2 years of study at South Louis Community College. No longer will a young lady who passed all her CSEC subjects have to abandon a dream of attending South Louis Community College due to lack of economic access. No longer will our young men be forced to drop out of South Louis because their parents cannot afford to pay their tuition. And no longer will parents and students be subject to the indignity of begging a parliamentary rep to pay for their sons and daughters' tuition to attend South Louis Community College. This policy is anchored in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which views education as a human right, one that should be universal, accessible, and available. It is a practical and realizable step forward towards equipping our students with the foundation needed to pursue a university education. The policy will contribute to enhancing and deepening our human capital, reducing the labor market skills mismatch, and optimizing the use of the most precious resource, our children, our youth. Importantly, it will also reduce youth engagement in deviant and risky behavior and directly contribute to lowering the rates of youth involvement in criminal activity. St. Lucia is at a turning point. Our country is at a critical demographic transition. Birth rates are down, life expectancy is up. If we do not equip our youth now, we will not have the human capital to drive our economy in the future. And let us be clear, youth are not just the beneficiary of this policy, they are the lifeblood of our pension system and our national economy. Every graduate who secures a good job, pays their contributions, and invests in their future is also securing the retirement of their parent and grandparents. Without a well-trained, well-employed youth population, our social security fund will collapse. The IMF has already warned us the pension fund could be depleted by 2051 if nothing is done. This was a warning sounded loud and clear by the IMF in the 2024 IMF Article 4 report, but ignored by the Prime Minister, who, when asked about the fate of the NIC, arrogantly declared that he would be dead by the time this became a national crisis. Such reckless disregard for the future of our workers, pensioners, can only be described as a moral hazard of the highest order. A leader gambling with the future of its country because he believes he won't be around to face the consequences. On the contrary, UWP is taking action now that will sustainably secure the future of our social security program. When we invest in free tuition at SALFA, we are not just helping a student get a diploma, we are strengthening the tax base, safeguarding pensions, and protecting the dignity of every St. Lucian who has worked hard all of their lives. As a result, it is imperative that we train and invest our youth so they become functioning, productive, and upstanding members of our society. This policy is not politics. It is an investment in our children, an investment in our future, an investment in a sustainable St. Lucia. This policy is about restoring dignity in public policy and dignity in politics. It is about preparing St. Lucia to become a knowledge economy and positioning the nation to seize the jobs of the future. I am certain that Sir Arthur Lewis, the father of development economics, who stated that the fundamental cure for poverty is not money, but rather knowledge, end of quote, would be proud to know that students attending a tertiary institution named after him would not be denied access because of economic hardship. Free tuition at South Louis Community College is not just a policy, it is a covenant with the youth of this nation. Thank you and have a good day.